Well, this last weekend we brought the number 1 and number 2 pick teams in the conference preseason, Missouri State and Wichita, and they were actually both sitting in a 3-way tie for first with Loyola, both of them with 1 loss. We had Wichita on Friday night, and as those of you that were there, a very big physical team that have a lot of options offensively. And although we did lose that match, I cannot even begin to tell you what a huge change this weekend was compared to the weekend before. And we challenged our kids with a lot of things throughout practice this last week, and just very happy with how they responded to that. I think the biggest struggle, and I've talked to a few fans, it was a struggle for the fans as well, but to be so close in some of those sets and not be able to finish, being ahead late in the set and not being able to finish, and obviously that's things that we talk about. We just had opportunities that we took very safe approaches to, and getting some of our kids to really step up, and when the opportunity is there, to stay aggressive rather than taking the safe route. But that's a challenge we had kind of earlier in the season, and something that we're really fighting to get through, but we definitely had our opportunities against Wichita. They're a team that they're very hard to prepare for because they have so many different attackers and they put them in different positions in different matches. So I actually thought our kids did a really good job of focusing in and being able to defend a few of their kids. We had 2 that we really struggled with. Lehman in the middle position, I think she hit 500, which is a great stat. She's an animal up there. For those of you that were there, very difficult for us to defend. And then Fayad on the outside really had a good match against us too. But other than those 2, I thought we did a really good job defensively. Heading into the Missouri State match, I think the hardest part for us as coaches is to help our kids work through the fact that we actually did a really good job in making a lot of changes, but again, not getting the end result of what we all step on the court to do, and that's win. And so trying to keep our kids positive and knowing, you get knocked down, you get back up, and you get right back in there. And I thought our kids did a really good job of coming out and fighting hard on Saturday's match against Missouri State. The first game, we were a little bit worried because we had a 14-7 lead, but I will say that was a big part of that was Missouri State having very uncharacteristic errors. They're not that kind of team, and they were doing a lot of things that they don't normally do to put us ahead that far. But they were able to work their way back in, and again, we were ahead 23-20 late in the set and weren't able to finish and lost that first set. So a lot of conversation between games 1 and 2 that our kids really responded well to. We came out and won the next 2, lost a tough 4th game that was really back and forth, and then able to hold on and win a 5th game against a really good Missouri State team. I think it was one of the best defensive efforts I've seen in our program, let alone this year. We had 111 digs, and our kids were just all over the place. Kendall Sorge was in a zone. Told her you just stay there the rest of the season, but she had 33 digs, I think, but just some of the plays that she was making were just incredible, especially for a freshman in a libero position. So very proud of her. Amy Held, we've put her in a different position. She's now hitting for us, but still that kid is able to come up with 30 digs on that night. So just really proud of her effort. Ashley Sinnott, I think, had 18 digs. We had 5 people that were double digits, but just the really scrappy defensive effort that we've been asking for our kids the last couple weeks was definitely there. So proud of that. I thought Heather Hook had a great weekend both on Friday and Saturday night. She's really starting to mature as a setter. But I will tell you that different people stepping up at different times throughout the weekend was definitely what it was all about. So really proud of our team and the changes that we were able to make this weekend, and now it's just a matter of keeping with that and pushing on. As Colin said, we're home for homecoming, which again, that is not a given for us, so we're very happy that we get to be a part of homecoming, partly just to be able to experience some of the activities, but also to be a part of it. We get to be an athletic event that hopefully a lot of people will come out and support, a lot of alumni as well being there. But we have Drake, who is actually playing some really good volleyball right now. They beat Loyola, who Loyola right now is sitting at a tie for first. Drake is their only loss on the season. They beat Indiana State the night after we lost to Indiana State, so a very good, capable Drake team. We've seen just a little bit on video when we're watching other teams and scouting other teams, so we'll get a better idea of what Drake does this afternoon, but we do know they're very balanced offensively. They just don't have 1 or 2 kids that leads them in kills. They have a whole 5 or 6 kids that come in and can do it at any time. They're also very scrappy on defense. They have a couple kids that can really get on a roll with their serving as well. So some of the things that we'll prepare for this week. The neat thing about this week as well is we only have that one match, so we get a lot of opportunity to work on ourselves while we also prepare for Drake. We are giving them an extra day off this week. I think since we started on August 10th, they've had maybe Sundays off, and that's it for the entire time. So I think it will help them mentally and physically to have another day where they can just not think about volleyball, and then we'll come in the next 4 days and work hard at it and prepare for a tough Drake team. But really excited about being able to be here and be a part of homecoming. Any questions?
Going back to Kendall, just how well do you think she's handled the transition of libero and the extra attention and responsibility that position has?
I think, she's done a great job. And, the first time we did it, definitely probably a surprise for her. I don't think she ever thought that was going to be a possibility. We never really talked about that possibility. But just having a week of practice and just her building a little bit more confidence, it's not just that she switched to libero, but we have her in a different position in the backcourt. So playing left as opposed to right is a big change, and she's just getting more and more comfortable. But she just does a really good job of not only digging balls, but keeping balls and out-of-system balls alive. So just really impressed with her effort.
With all things considered, snapping a 3-game losing streak in Missouri State, having a high RPI, was that kind of the biggest win of the year at this point of the season for you?
Yeah, Gary, I really think it was, and partly just because of where we've been at the last couple of weeks. I've talked a lot about Indiana State. Illinois State was a place we really didn't want to be. It was one of those that, even though I don't think they purposely, the effort wasn't the same as it's been all year. So to be able to come back against 2 teams, and again, against Wichita State, I thought we competed well, but to be able to have that turnaround and finally get an end result that we all shoot for every time we step on the court was huge.
How important was it in that 5th game when you jumped out like you did to an early 3-0 lead and 8-4? How big is that in a 15-point match?
Yeah, that is huge. And one of the things that has happened for us, a couple of those 5th game matches that we've played, we'd jump out and get a 3-0 lead, and then something would happen that should have been taken care of, which actually did happen on Saturday night as well. An easy play that we should have been able to capitalize on, and then we kind of go downhill from there. But the neat thing is we were able to, after that play happened, kind of forget about that and move on, and then score a few more points. So obviously getting a huge lead early in the 5th game when it only goes to 15 is very, very helpful in the confidence. All right, thank you.